그럼 어디 언제? 우리가 하나를 켜야 돼. 이거를 같은데?
Hello, am I clear? Can you all hear me? This is good. Hello, is this good? Can you all hear me?
자, 켜드릴까요? 켜드릴게요. 같이 좀. Hello?
Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, very clear. Where are you?
This is better than usual.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, that's good.
Where are you?
This is my house. This is my room. That's my bed.
I saw you are in India.
This is not right now. Right now I'm in India. Yeah, I'm back. I'm back already.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
The video, no?
And ask me.
Okay, Arvin?
Mm-hmm.
During our coaches are thinking about some question and maybe review. I want to ask you to more detailed explanation about the pitch, the module 33.
Okay.
Yeah, how to share, how to presentation to other people.
Okay. Not this one. Okay, so this is the module 33, which is presentation. So in this case, for the pitching, there's a few possible formats that we can get our youth to try. Okay, the format that we present here, this is to assume that the youth is actually sharing for someone like an investor or like someone who can support their project, right? So imagine your youth is already trying to solve a problem, right? He have already done his research. He have drawn his systems map. He have find out that this is the problem, after that he created a solution. And now is the time for he's so excited. At the same time, he's tired, like, I've done so much. I want someone to use this. I want someone to use this. But in order for someone to use your product, they need to understand that it is useful for them, right? So this presentation is to help them do that, right? You have done so much. Let's make a good presentation so that this thing that you have made will be used by someone. Okay. So our slide starts with these three things. which is they are all very technical words. You can use the same word. These are all Greek words, by the way, but they are used very widely to structure our presentation. This one is emotion. So I'll just use the English version, right, which is emotion. And then the second one is logic. The third one is character. This is saying to build trust, I'm presenting something to audience. I want to get their trust. I want them to trust me, right? And in order for them to trust me, number one is that I need to connect with them. I need them to know that I care about the problem. And I need them to know that I care about them. So that is emotion, right? Can we understand each other's emotion? And this one, logic. So okay, you know, you want to help someone, you want to help me, that's good. But prove to me that you can help me. So this is the part whereby youth, you know, showcase really his technology. Yeah, in the past, let's say Vegeta, right? In the past, you know, farmers are unable to predict prices, and these are all the disadvantages. You know, they lose time, they lose money, they are not able to sell as much, and all that. And now I created this product. This is what you can do. These benefits, and it's all very systematic, very logical, very reasonable. Okay. So there's logos here. There's logic here. And then the last one is appeal to character. Your character. What's your purpose? What's your purpose of creating this particular project? Do you come from a selfish kind of nature, or do you genuinely, you actually want to help, right? So this is the part of ethos. This slide is interesting. This slide is about our brain. This one is neuroscience, okay? So there is a phrase that says that we buy emotionally and then justify with logic. Okay, I'll type it down. This is something you can also tell your youth. Okay, so the phrase here is, we buy emotionally and then justify logically. Okay, which means that from the first time your youth come to the stage, people are already looking at them. People are already thinking, can I trust this person? Right? And you know, if you can show that you are trustworthy and you seems like you know what you're talking about, people will be emotionally connected to you. They like you. And then it's easier for them to agree to what you say. Right? This slide's on that. Of course, end of the day, AI4Y don't focus on presentation skill per se, right? But we try our best, you know, to coach our youth. How do we communicate? So there's emotion. So a few ways to communicate emotional content, like words. The words you'll use. Use emotional kind of use emotion words to communicate emotional content, right? So instead of saying, you can say for Vegeta, you can say the farmer lost their income because they are not able to predict the price. Or you can say the farmer are frustrated. The farmer are feeling helpless. You see? So these are emotional content, okay, which helps your audience to register in their mind. Oh wow, frustration. I do not like frustration. I want to do something about frustration. So that's your words. Body language, how do you stand? Right, stand up straight, be confident, take deep breath, speak slowly, all these things. Tone of voice. So these things, right, is lecture only. But when we run the class, practice is very important. Okay, we have to get the youth to stand up and actually share. And one time is not enough. One way I can suggest to you is to record the session. When your youth is in front, sharing about his or her solution, take a camera or borrow their mobile phone, borrow it, or ask their friends and take a video of them. It's not to embarrass them. It's not to make them look stupid or anything like that. No, it's for their good, right? Because a lot of time when we are in front of an audience, we are nervous. We are not able to share what we want to share. And all your work, so many weekends are not presented in the best way possible, right? So we want to help our youth to do this. And one way is to video them and then give them the video and let themselves see them in the video and comment on that, right? We do not have to play the video in front of everyone because it might be embarrassing, right? But we can take the video and give him or her back the phone and they can learn. And it's a practice of, it's a human skill, presenting yourself, being confident in front of people. It's more than, ticking boxes, really. All these are real skills that your youth will use again and again, right? As people, yeah, to share something in front of people, right? So these are a few techniques to relate emotional content. You tell stories, you use the words, emotional words, and you also use even your pictures, your photos in your slides, or your photos if you put it in your Jupyter, right? You don't have to only stick to Jupyter Notebook. You can have a slide and then use the Jupyter Notebook to help you, right? To demo, basically to demo. Or some of your youth might be ambitious. They want to make a video and then demo using Jupyter. That's okay, right? All these formats. But the simplest one will be, of course, your slides. And when you have slides, you can really play with pictures. And all these pictures give you emotional content as well. It's just the beginning. And you have picture of a kid, running and looking to the future, right? Instead of just having one word there is just the beginning, you put it with a background like this, then it can convey the emotional content. This is what we are trying to say here. So there's emotion. Next will be logic, the facts, which is probably something that we are very used to, right? We as as engineers and as someone dealing with AI, we deal a lot with data. But sometimes we forget that the people that the people who watches us, they might not know, they might not be very technical. They might not be very technical. So the most important part here is to get the numbers to be relatable to your audience, right? For example, this one is talking about irrigation. Last time, it takes 1 hour to do the job. Now, it takes 1 minute to do the job. But, so what? Right? So what? Why does it matter to me? Why does it matter to your listener? Oh, so what? So that you can care for bigger plot of land. If last time you have 1 hour, now you can do 1 minute. Imagine how much more land you can take care of, right? That means more time to research on better farming techniques. That means more time to take care of your family, depending on what matter. That's one way, right? Then another example, 5 gigabyte of data. So what, right? Oh, okay. So that you can store 1,000 songs. This is something that your audience will know. So this is very important for youth. I've run a lot of pitching classes, and this is a common problem that people have, especially when they first pitch, is that they only put the numbers here. They only put the features. They only put what their product can do, their features. Okay. But the next level will be to say, what would this feature help me? How would this feature help me? Okay. So logos, yes, evidence important, but the evidence should be shared in a way that your audience care about. And that's important, but care about. Okay. And same thing as a coach, as in a class, when you get your youth to stand in front and share, they will have at least one slide talking about numbers when they talk about impacts and all that. 10,000 cars reduced to 5,000 cars. So what? Again, what does it matter? How does that matter? Ask them. Make sure they talk about it. Then your facts become alive in your audience mind. Okay. Okay. The last one is about communicating character, credibility and character. So one way it could be, having the same values as the people that your group adore or, or believe in or follow, right? For example, if you're in the tech industry in the last time, you will have seen this slide a lot. Steve Jobs talking, right? And whatever Steve Jobs says is important. And that's just what this first one meant, right? Who do people look up to? What do they say? And are we saying the same thing as him? If yes, then we can borrow his status and say, hey, you know what? Steve Jobs say the same thing. That's the first one. Okay. The second one is about different values. This is beyond logic, right? This is people's belief system. So if you are in Korea, the values will be different. If you are in Singapore, the values will be different. But some values are quite common throughout the world, like things like security, right? I mean, everyone around the world want to be secure, so you can use such value. So if we talk about security, for example, CV for security, that in itself is a strong point. You know, my company or my organization or my product or myself wants to help us with security, because my number one goal is to keeping us safe. Yeah? And people hear you saying this, people will start thinking about you in a very positive way, because people will think, wow, I like this guy. What he's doing is something I care about. What he's doing is very meaningful. He wants to keep us safe, right? Then things like responsibility, things like caring for each other, all these are narratives that we can use as well, values you can use. Then of course here you have leadership. You want to be the best, you know, in the field. And you know, people like Elon Musk, like Google or Facebook, they like to say this kind of thing, right? We should be the leader in this field. We should be flying to the moon, blah blah blah. All this. Accountability is about changing the existing norms. Okay, so again, you can use all these values for your presentation. Okay, well, this is the important part. Practice, practice, practice. Give 4 minutes, depending on how much time you want to give them. 4, 3. In fact, if you can pitch your company or pitch your solution within 90 seconds, that can be a very interesting challenge, right? Pitch your solution in 90 seconds, that's one thing. But the other part would be demoing your solution. That can be a bit longer, maybe 10 minutes, because we want the youth to have that time, really, to showcase what they have gained, what they have learned throughout this session, right? And then give feedback and all that. Okay, so that is a presentation. Appealing to different parts of human being, so that you gain their trust. Okay. All right, thank you. So just a few pointers, right? Because maybe as someone that seldom pitch to investors and all that, right? We might forget some things, but just some pointers I just want to share with you. This can really help your youth. Okay, number one is this part, emotion. Okay, storytelling is very useful. Okay, because a story can put you in the shoe of someone else. A story is able to make you care about things. Okay, so the best story is the story that your youth experience themselves. That means, let's say Vegeta. Okay, if the youth actually have gone to talk to farmers, interview them, and is able to share their story, that real experience to someone else, that's powerful. That is more powerful than going online and finding big numbers like, oh, you know, in agriculture, $2 billion is lost per year, things like that. That's good, but an even stronger emotional story will be something that the youth have actually experienced, because it is true to them, right? So in here, we want to remind here that true personal stories cannot be wrong. And it also shows your audience that, hey, I really care about this problem, you know. I actually talk to farmers about this. If we talk about um, posture, detecting body posture to show that you are paying attention or not. The youth can be talking to teachers and like, teachers, what is your frustration? Oh, you know, I really wish my youth are paying attention and all that. But is it me? Am I not able to teach or something, right? So all these personal stories are very useful. Encourage them to create their own story. That's number one. Number two, again, this slide, I've seen so many. Yeah, I've seen so many presentation. Interesting technology and all that, but I don't understand the numbers. I don't get it. And tendency is, again, you got to catch this. Tendency is that your youth will forget to make the numbers make sense to people. They will say things like, oh, the pollutions drop, or the pollution increase from 200 parts per million to 230 parts per million. They will say these kind of things. And then we don't know what is it. What do you mean? I mean, so what if it goes by to become 230 parts per million? Things like that. But if you share, oh, this means that, you know, there will be 100 more people in the community that will get lung problems. Then it makes sense. Oh wow, a 30 parts per million increase will cause 100 more people to suffer, breathing problem and all that. That's something they can relate, right? So remind your youth to present the numbers in that way. Okay, these are the two things that I just want to remind ourselves to do. Okay, so I'll type it there, personal stories. Yeah, that's the 2 pointers on presentation. All right. Anything else? Any more questions from you? From all of you? If no more, then we can end earlier today. All right. Thank you so much for staying with me. I wish you all the best for your experience coming soon, right? You have a weekend, and then you have experience, and then empower. If there's any question at all, you can email me, and then I will reply to that. All right.
Thank you so much, Arvin. It was very informative webinar and very helpful for us.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I think I believe we will meet soon in person.
Yes. Yes. We will. I'll fly over. In fact.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Okay. I see something here. I have a question on unsupervised learning. Okay. Just a small update to. Okay. It's a big update to you. Is that we are making unsupervised learning not compulsory module. Okay. Because when we run it in India, we find that there is already very little time to do supervised learning. That's why we are not doing unsupervised learning. Please focus on supervised learning instead. Okay.
What does that mean? You mean we are very focused on supervised learning, not unsupervised and
Yeah, just focus on supervised.
Okay, I see. Is there any compulsory modules?
For unsupervised learning, you don't have to go through them. Okay, for data, this is for data. Focus on supervised learning.
Okay.
Because we realized that the content might be too much for the. Yeah, we tried it and that's what we found. Okay.
Your
Okay,
team
so
was very wonderful. How could you do that?
hang on. Okay, I see this question here. Google Infinite Drum Machine was introduced as an example of unsupervised learning. Why is Google Infinite Drum Machine learning unsupervised learning? Okay, so let's talk about unsupervised learning for a bit. Okay, this for our knowledge only. Unsupervised learning means that you don't have labeled data. That's very important. That's the most important thing. Okay, the most important first step is that unsupervised learning uses data without label. That means if you have a sound of a guitar, you will not even tell the computer that, oh, this is the sound of the guitar. No, no, no.
아니 근데 이제 unsupervised도 있고 애들이 설명하고 있잖아요. reinforced도 있고.
You are just going to have a lot of data, like 10,000 sound samples without labels, put it into some kind of algorithm, okay, and let the algorithm sort out the sound. And for us, the users, we are just going through what the algorithm produce. Okay, this TSNE is not a clustering algorithm. Okay, this TSNE is what we call a dimension reduction. That means when we have 10,000 sound samples, right? We are not able to actually visualize the vectors, because the sound will have things like frequency, amplitude, wavelength, right? There's so many numbers, and we are not able to visualize it because it's more than 3D, more than 3 dimension. There's a lot of vectors. How can we get that data to be something that we can see? We reduce the dimension from maybe 10,000, from 10,000 factor of 10,000 dimension. I don't know how many dimension of it is it. I got to research, but basically more than 3 dimension to 2 dimension. So if you look at the infinite drum machine, you will see that it is only in 2 dimension. Okay. So these are only 2 dimensions, right? Yeah. These are only 2 dimensions. But actually the data have many, many dimensions, which is why they use that algorithm, TSNE, or we like to call it TSNE, okay, to reduce it to 2 dimensions. That's all actually. Yeah, but the unsupervised learning algorithm that they use, I'm not very sure why it is. I need to see that, and they probably talk about it also.
Thank you, Arvin.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much. I hope it's useful, right? If nothing else, then thank you and goodbye.
Okay, thank you a lot. Have a good night.
Good night. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.